Prologue. A long time ago in ancient Persia, there was a king called King Shahryar. The king often went to hunt, and the queen was sad because she didn't have any friends. Then she met one of the king's men, and they became good friends. One day, the king returned home, and he was furious because the queen was with the man. The king killed the queen and the man. "My wife was bad. Now all women will suffer," he said. He decided to marry a different woman every night and kill her the next morning. The women in the kingdom were terrified, and many tried to escape from the king. At first, the king had sufficient women to marry, but after some time, there weren't a lot of young women in his kingdom. One day, the king married a very attractive, intelligent girl called Scheherazade. On the night of the wedding, Queen Scheherazade was terrified. "Will the king kill me in the morning?" the queen thought. Then she had an idea. "Can I tell you a story?" she asked the king. "That will be nice," said the king. "I love stories." Scheherazade started to tell the king a long story. He didn't kill her in the morning because he wanted to hear the ending of the story. The next night, she told him another story, and the night after that. Some stories were funny, and some were mysterious and magical. The king liked Scheherazade's stories and her voice. He didn't kill her because he wanted to hear more of her stories. These are three of the stories Queen Scheherazade told King Shahryar.
The Dream. Chapter 1. The Problem. Many years ago, in ancient Baghdad, there was a rich merchant called Mansour. His business was very good, and he had a lot of money. For many years, Mansour lived a modest life, but then he started to spend his money in stupid ways. He bought expensive clothes, gold and jewelry, and exotic food and wine. Finally, he wasn't rich anymore. Mansour started to live a modest life again, but his money problems continued. "I don't have enough money to continue my business," he decided sadly. "I must close my shop in the market. What can I do now?" The merchant closed his shop and started to work for other people, but they didn't give him much money for his hard work. Mansour bought only simple food, and he didn't buy new clothes. But he lived in a comfortable house on a quiet street with a lot of palm trees. In front of his house, there was a beautiful garden with many exotic flowers and a big fountain. There was a circle of white stones around the fountain, but the merchant wasn't happy. He lived in his comfortable house and sat in his beautiful garden, but he was sad. "Now I'm poor and lonely. I hate my life," the merchant thought. One night, Mansour had a strange dream. In the dream, a man spoke to him. "Go to Cairo. You'll find your fortune in that city," the man said. The next morning, the merchant remembered his dream. He thought about it all day. Some people believe their dreams, he thought. Maybe my fortune is in Cairo. That's more than 600 miles from Baghdad. But I believe the message in the dream. I'll go to Cairo, and maybe I'll find my fortune there. The next day, he put some food, clothes, and money into a bag. Then he started the journey to Cairo. Chapter 2. To Cairo. The journey was long and difficult, and the weather was hot and dry. Soon the merchant didn't have any more food to eat. Then he bought bread in the villages and towns on his journey. He took water from wells near the road because it was free. Some days the merchant walked for many hours. His feet hurt, and he was very weak. Other days, travelers took him on their donkeys and camels. Every night, he slept outside in a field or on a quiet street. One evening, after many weeks, the merchant finally arrived in Cairo. The city was a very big place with a lot of people. Mansour tried to find a place to sleep. He saw many inns, but he didn't have enough money for a room there. He decided to sleep in the courtyard of a mosque. It was quiet and nobody was there. The merchant felt secure. I have a good idea. Tomorrow, people will come to pray in the mosque, he thought. I can talk to them, and maybe somebody will help me find my fortune in Cairo. A few moments later, he went to sleep on the floor of the courtyard. That night, some thieves entered the house next to the mosque. They stole money and jewelry. The owner of the house saw the thieves, and he was angry. "Stop! Thieves!" the owner shouted. Soon, some policemen arrived at the house. They searched the streets near the house, but they didn't find the thieves. Suddenly, they saw the merchant in the courtyard of the mosque. Now they were angry. "What are you doing here? It's illegal to sleep here," shouted one of the policemen. The merchant opened his eyes. He saw the policeman and he was frightened. Will they take me to prison, he thought. What will happen to me? Chapter 3. In Prison. Mansour didn't speak because he was frightened. Finally, he asked, "What's the problem?" "Didn't you hear me?" said one of the policemen. "It's illegal to sleep in the courtyard of a mosque." "But I didn't know that," said the merchant. "You can explain that later," said the policeman. "Now we're taking you to prison." The policeman took Mansour to a prison near the mosque. They put him in a small room and locked the door. "This is terrible," thought the merchant. "What will happen now?" For 3 days, Mansour was in prison. A policeman arrived with food 3 times a day, but he didn't talk to Mansour. On the 4th day, the policeman opened the door and said, "Come with me. The chief policeman wants to talk to you." He took Mansour to a big office and opened the door. The chief policeman sat at a big desk. He looked at the merchant and asked, "Are you the man from the mosque courtyard?" "Yes, I am," Mansour answered nervously. "Come in," said the chief policeman. "I have some questions to ask you." The merchant entered the room and approached the chief policeman's desk. Chapter 4. The Chief Policeman. The chief policeman smiled. "Are you from Cairo?" he asked. "No, sir. I'm from Baghdad," Mansour answered. "When did you arrive in Cairo?" the chief policeman asked. "4 evenings ago," said the merchant. "I was very tired and wanted to sleep, but I didn't have enough money for a room at an inn. I decided to sleep in the mosque courtyard. It was illegal, but I didn't know that." The chief policeman smiled again. "We have a lot of thieves here in Cairo," he said. "We saw you in the mosque courtyard at night, and we were suspicious. Don't worry," he continued. "You won't stay in prison. You aren't a thief. You can go." "Thank you, sir," Mansour said. Mansour was very happy. "That's marvelous," he said. "Will you stay in Cairo, or will you return to Baghdad soon?" asked the chief policeman. "I'll leave Cairo quickly," answered Mansour. "This isn't a good place for me. I'll return to my house in Baghdad and find my fortune there." "Don't go," said the chief policeman. "First, I must ask you another question." "Yes, certainly," said the merchant. "Why did you come here?" asked the chief policeman. "I'm curious." Mansour looked at the chief policeman's friendly face, and he decided to tell him about his dream. Chapter 5. The Chief Policeman's Dream. "I came here because I had a dream," explained Mansour. "A man said to me, 'Go to Cairo. You will find your fortune in that city.' The chief policeman laughed and said, 'Messages in dreams aren't true.' I had 3 dreams. In each dream, a man said, 'In Baghdad, there's a street with a lot of palm trees. There's a merchant's house on that street. The front garden has a big fountain with a circle of white stones around it. Under the fountain, there is a box, and there is gold and jewelry in the box. I didn't travel to Baghdad because I don't believe my dreams." Mansour smiled. He was excited. "He's describing my house and garden," he thought. "Maybe my fortune is in my garden in Baghdad." The 2 men said goodbye. Then Mansour left Cairo immediately and traveled to Baghdad. On the long, difficult journey, he thought about the chief policeman's dream. Mansour arrived home, and he took his shovel immediately. Then he went into the front garden and started to dig under the fountain. Suddenly, the shovel hit something hard. The merchant looked and saw a box. He took the box and opened it. Inside, there was a lot of gold and jewelry. Mansour was very excited. The chief policeman's dream was true, and mine was true too, he thought happily. I went on a long journey to Cairo, but I found my fortune in my own garden in Baghdad. The Donkey. Chapter 1. The Idea. A long time ago, in a distant land, there was a merchant. His name was Belshazzar, and he sold material. He put the material on his donkey's strong back. Belshazzar and his donkey walked far every day to sell his material. One day, the merchant and his donkey finished their work and walked home. The merchant led the donkey on a long rope. The rope was around the donkey's neck. "Nobody is walking on the road today. It is very quiet," the merchant thought. But 2 thieves were near the road behind some trees. One thief said to his friend, "Let's take that donkey and sell it. We'll get a lot of money for it." "It's a great idea," said his friend. "But how can we take it?" "We'll take the donkey's rope and put it round my neck. Then I'll walk behind the man," said the first thief. "He won't know his donkey isn't there. You'll take the donkey to the next village and sell it at the market. But you must be very quick and very quiet." "But the man will look behind him, and he won't see his donkey. He'll see you," said his friend. "He'll be angry." "No, it's okay," said the first thief. "He'll see me, and then I'll tell him a long story to explain everything. He looks stupid. He'll believe me. Okay, let's do that. Then we'll be rich," said the friend. Chapter 2. The Explanation. The 2 thieves did this. The first thief walked behind the merchant with the rope around his neck, and the second thief quickly took the donkey to the market. After some time, the first thief stopped walking. My friend is at the market now, so I can stop, he thought. Belshazzar pulled the rope, but the thief didn't walk. Belshazzar became angry. He shouted, "Walk, you stupid donkey!" and pulled the rope again. But the thief didn't move. Then Belshazzar looked behind him at his donkey. He was very surprised. There was a man behind him. "Where's my donkey? Who are you?" Belshazzar asked. "It's a strange story," said the thief. "A few years ago, I became drunk, and I sold my mother's donkey. My mother was very angry with me. She put a curse on me and shouted, 'You're as stupid as a donkey.' Suddenly, I became a donkey. Then my mother sold me to you in the market. I was your donkey." "That's very sad," said Belshazzar. "But how did you become a man again?" "My mother is a good lady. Today she forgave me and stopped the curse," said the thief, "and now I'm a man again." "You worked very hard and carried all my material on your back." "I'm sorry," said Belshazzar. "Please forgive me." "Of course," said the thief, "but now I must leave you." Belshazzar took the rope from the thief's neck. Then the two men said goodbye and walked in different directions. Chapter 3. The Donkey at the Market. Belshazzar arrived home and told his wife the story. "That's a strange story," said his wife. "I don't understand. How did the man become a donkey?" "Yes, it is strange," said Belshazzar. "I must think about it." Then the man got into bed and didn't leave it for 3 days. He didn't do anything. He only thought about the story. Finally his wife said, "We need money. You must get out of bed, buy a new donkey, and start to work again." "Yes, I'll go to the market tomorrow and buy a new donkey," Belshazzar said. "Buy a good, strong donkey," said Belshazzar's wife. "It must walk far and work hard." "Don't worry, I won't be stupid this time," said Belshazzar. The next day, the merchant got out of bed and went to the market in a village near his house. There were many donkeys at the market. Belshazzar looked at them, and he suddenly recognized his old donkey. He approached the donkey and said quietly in one of its ears, "Did you become drunk again? Did your mother put a curse on you again? You were as stupid as a donkey a few years ago, and you are still a stupid donkey today. Well, I'm not stupid, and I won't buy you again." The Fisherman and the Genie. Chapter 1. The Bottle. Many years ago, in a distant land, there was a poor fisherman. He lived with his wife and 2 beautiful daughters in a little house by the sea. Every morning the fisherman put a net into the sea and caught fish to sell in the market. But he didn't get much money, and life was very difficult for him and his family. "I'm sad, because I can't buy nice things for my wife and daughters," he thought. One day, the fisherman pulled his net from the sea, but there weren't any fish in it. "This is bad," he thought. "I'll try again." Then suddenly he saw a bottle in the net. He was surprised. The fisherman took the bottle and opened it. Immediately, smoke came out of it. The fisherman was frightened and dropped the bottle. Suddenly, the smoke transformed into an enormous man. The fisherman was very surprised, but he was excited too. "Is this a genie?" he thought. In those days, everybody knew about genies. Bad people caught them and put them in a bottle or a lamp. The genies stayed inside them because they couldn't escape. According to legends, genies really wanted to escape, and they always gave rewards to their rescuers. Chapter 2. The Colored Fish. "Are you a genie?" asked the fisherman. "Yes, I am," answered the genie. "And you opened the bottle and liberated me. Thank you." The fisherman smiled and asked, "How long were you in the bottle?" "I was there for over 200 years," answered the genie. "That's terrible," said the fisherman. "Yes, it was," the genie answered. "And I'm going to give you a reward because you liberated me. What do you want?" "I want a lot of money," the fisherman answered immediately. "Then you'll have a lot of money," the genie said. "Come with me and bring your fishing net." The fisherman and the genie walked for a long time. "Where is he taking me?" the fisherman thought. Then they came to a big lake. The genie said, "Put your net into the water." The fisherman obeyed him. After a few minutes, the genie said, "Now take the net from the water." The fisherman did this, and he was very surprised. His net was full of colored fish. "Look at these colored fish!" the fisherman exclaimed. "Their bright colors are beautiful." The genie smiled. "Put the fish in a bowl and take them to the king," he said. "He'll be happy, and he'll give you a lot of gold." "I can't believe this. My net is full," the fisherman said. Chapter 3. Strange Events. The genie suddenly disappeared, and the fisherman saw a big bowl of water. He put the fish in it. Then he put the bowl on his head and walked to the king's palace. At the palace gate, the fisherman said to the guard, "I must see King Alidoras. I have something important for him." The guard opened the gate and took the fisherman to a big room full of people. "Everybody in this room wants to talk to the king," he said. "You must wait too." The fisherman waited for many hours. Finally, somebody took the fisherman to King Alidoras, and he gave the king the bowl of fish. "These are beautiful fish," exclaimed the king. "I must buy them." And he gave the fisherman a bag of gold coins. "Thank you," said the fisherman happily, and he ran home. That evening, the king's cook started to prepare the fish for dinner. Suddenly there was a shout from the kitchen. 4 guards ran there immediately. The cook was very frightened. "What happened?" asked a guard. The cook pointed at a pan. There wasn't anything in it. "I put the fish into the pan, and they talked," he said. The guards laughed and said, "Fish can't talk." "Those fish talked," said the cook, and he started to tremble. They said, "The witch in the palace put a curse on us. She transformed us into fish. Please help us and kill the witch." Then they disappeared. King Alidoras heard the story. "This is very strange," he said. "Maybe the fisherman can explain it." Then the king ordered, "Guards, find the fisherman." Chapter 4. The Palace. After a few days, the guards found the fisherman in his house by the sea, and they took him to the palace. King Alidoras described the strange events to the fisherman. "Can you explain this?" he asked. "No, sir, I can't," answered the fisherman. Then the king asked, "Where did you catch the fish?" "In a lake, a long way from here," said the fisherman. "Take me and my guards there now," the king ordered. "Maybe we can discover the mystery of the fish." The fisherman, the king, and the guards went to the lake. King Alidurus decided to walk around the lake. He walked for a long time, and finally the morning sun appeared. "It's morning now," he thought. That was a very long walk. Then he saw a palace on a mountain near the lake. "Who lives there? I'll go and see," the king said. The palace gate was open, and there were no guards there. King Alidurus entered the palace. The walls of the rooms were white marble, and in every room there was beautiful furniture. The king didn't see anybody, but then he entered one of the rooms, and he heard a quiet voice say, "Help me." Chapter 5. Prince Shalimar's Problem. The king looked round and saw a handsome young man. He had a crown on his head, and he reclined on a sofa. He was very sad. "What's the problem?" asked King Alidurus. "Can't you see?" said the young man. "I can't move. Look at my legs. They're stone." The king looked at the man's legs. He was very surprised. "That's terrible. What happened to your legs?" he asked. "I am Prince Shalimar. Long ago, my wife tried to kill me with poison because she loved another man," the young man explained sadly. "I discovered her plan, and I killed the other man. My wife was very angry. She put a curse on me and transformed my legs into stone. She also put a curse on the kingdom and transformed it into a lake and all the people into fish. She still lives in the palace. She visits me every day and laughs at me. She must die. Then the curse will end." "I want to help you," said King Alidurus. "I'm a king, and I live in a palace far from here. My cook tried to cook some fish from the lake, and they started to talk. They said, 'The witch in the palace put a curse on us.' Now I understand. Your wife is the witch. I'll kill her and end this terrible curse." "Oh, thank you," shouted Prince Shalimar. Chapter 6. The Solution. Soon the prince's cruel wife entered the room. The king killed her with his sword. "The witch is dead," he said. Immediately the prince's stone legs became real. The prince and the king walked to the window. Fish came from the water and transformed into people. Then the lake became a kingdom again. All the people were very happy, and there was a great celebration in the streets. The fishermen and the king's guards arrived in the kingdom. "I received the fish from this fisherman," King Alidurus said to Prince Shalimar, "and he took me to the lake." "Thank you," said the prince to the fisherman. "You helped the king to end the curse." The king, the prince, and the fisherman became friends. Soon the king married one of the fisherman's beautiful daughters, and the prince married the other. The fisherman became rich, and he was happy for the rest of his life.
Epilogue. Every night, King Shahryar listened to Scheherazade's stories. Soon the king and Scheherazade knew they loved each other. King Shahryar wasn't angry or cruel anymore. He became good, and Scheherazade was a very popular queen. One night, Scheherazade said, "We married nearly 3 years ago, and now we have 3 sons. Sometimes I'm frightened. You killed your other wives. Will you also kill me one day?" "Never," promised the king. "I love you and your stories." The king, queen, and their sons all lived long, happy lives together, and everybody in the kingdom was happy.